Hi Grange Park. So this is now part 6 of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Ugly Truth. We're about halfway through the story now, so I hope you're really enjoying it. I know I am. So Greg has just got to school and obviously he's broken his egg, so let's see what happens when he gets to class. I'm pretty sure the point of the lesson was to teach us how hard it is to take care of a baby, so I don't think the girls are really getting the message. I was thinking about swiping Rowley's egg when he wasn't looking and passing it off as my own, but he had drawn all over his in crayon, so that wasn't an option. When Nurse Powell came to my desk, I pulled out the plastic baggie that had my scrambled egg in it, but she didn't seem too impressed. Can I at least get partial credit? So I guess that means I'm probably going to be in summer school to repeat health class. Nurse Powell congratulated everyone who kept their eggs in perfect condition overnight. Then she collected all the eggs and threw them in the trash. Well, that sent Rowley and the girls into hysterics. All I can say is this whole episode has got me seriously concerned about the next generation of parents in our country. Friday. This afternoon there was a knock at the door, and when I opened it, I was pretty surprised to see Grandpa standing there. I was kind of confused because he had his overnight bag with him, but when I turned round and saw Mum and Dad with their luggage, I figured out what was going on. Mum and Dad said they haven't been able to spend a lot of time together lately, so they've decided to go on a romantic weekend getaway. They've asked Grandpa to come by and watch us while they're gone. I wish they didn't have to go and throw the word romantic in there, because that part was definitely too much information for me. Mum and Dad don't trust me and Roderick to be at home alone, because the last time they left us on our own, Roderick had a huge party. Whenever Mum and Dad go away, they usually leave us with Grandma, but Grandma's on a cruise with her friends, so that's why we got stuck with Grandpa. Mum and Dad don't give us any advance warning when they go away. For their anniversary, we didn't even know they were gone until they called. We're in Hawaii. The last time they left us at our own house with Grandpa was when me and Roderick were really little. I don't remember everything that went wrong that week, but I do remember that he dropped me off for T-ball practice at the wrong time and at the wrong field. I don't think Roderick was crazy about the idea of having Grandpa as a babysitter, because the second Mum and Dad left, Roderick took off. Unfortunately, I don't have a van or a driver's licence of my own, so I was stuck with Grandpa and Manny. Let's play gin rummy. Manny went straight to bed, and even though it was only 4:30 in the afternoon, so that left just me and Grandpa. Grandpa made grilled cheese sandwiches with the crust cut off for dinner, which I haven't had since I was really little. We watched some TV, but then at 7 o'clock, Grandpa shut it up and asked me if I wanted him to read me a story. I haven't had a bedtime story since I was in kindergarten, but I didn't want to hurt Grandpa's feelings, so I just went along with it. Saturday. Since I went to bed at 7:30 last night, I woke up really early this morning. And when I came downstairs, I saw a big white binder sitting out on the kitchen table, taking care of Gregory and Roderick, A to Z. All of a sudden, the grilled cheese sandwiches and the story and the early bedtime all made sense. Grandpa was using the manual Mum had made him the last time he took care of us at home, 8 or 9 years ago. I flipped through the pages, and sure enough, it was filled with instructions for how to take care of us when we were little kids. And at least 95% of it was totally outdated. R is for red fruit juice. Do not let Roderick drink any before bedtime, as it makes him extremely hyperactive. Some of the stuff in there was actually pretty embarrassing. I'm just glad I found the manual before Roderick did, or he'd never let me hear the end of it. S is for sneakers. Gregory calls his sneakers Wild Boys. He does not know how to tell his left and right shoes apart, so he will need help getting them on. I flipped the page with T on it, and here's what I found. T is for television. The boys may watch up to 30 minutes of educational programming a day. I don't think I'm going to survive a whole weekend with Grandpa if I'm not allowed to watch a lot of TV. So I ripped up the page and drew up a new one. T is for television. Gregory is allowed to watch as much television as he likes. Then I realised that the S page was on the back of the T page, so I had to replace that one too. S is for, it was what you should do to Roderick if he ever leaves the house without asking first. Monday. Unfortunately, Mum and Dad got home before Roderick did yesterday, and Grandpa went back to his condo, which is a shame because I was really keeping my fingers crossed on that S thing. Mum said that she and Dad did a lot of talking over the weekend, and they agreed that things have started to slip around the house ever since she started going back to school. I figured Mum was going to chew us guys out for not doing our share, but she actually said she was going to hire someone in to help with the cleaning. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The words Mum used were domestic help, but I knew that was just code for a maid. I guess Mum was pretty embarrassed about having to hire someone to help out with the household chores because she asked all of us not to mention it to anybody. Well, I'm sorry, but opportunities like this don't come around too often for me, so it was hard to keep quiet at school. We're getting a maid. Chirag Gupta and his family doesn't need a maid, and that he was glad his mum was there when he comes home from school every day. But I'm sure that's what all the non-maid people say to make themselves feel better. Tomorrow is our maid Isabella's first day. I thought that meant we could all kick back and be a little extra slobby, since someone would be picking up after us. But Mum made everyone clean the house tonight. She said she didn't want Isabella thinking we live in a pigsty. Tuesday. Today, when I got home from school, Isabella was in the family room watching a talk show. I guess I can't really blame her for loafing around, since we had done all the cleaning for her. But she stayed for about 2 hours and totally hogged the TV. Tonight, when Mum got home after her classes, she was amazed at how spotless the house was. I don't think she remembered that we were the ones that did all the work. But she seemed happy, so I didn't want to spoil it for her. I wasn't as happy as Mum. Last night I left Isabella a note asking her to take care of my laundry. I wasn't sure if she would take orders from a kit, so I made the note look like it was from Mum. Dear Isabella, please do my son Gregory's laundry. Sincerely, Mrs. Heffley. I'm technically supposed to do my own laundry, and I didn't want Mum to find out I was asking Isabella to do it for me. So I put this line at the bottom. P.S. Now that you've read my note, you should just throw it out. Then I put the note on top of the bag that was left out where Isabella would see it. I was expecting to come home and find all my laundry, neat folded piles on my bed, but instead I got a note back from Isabella. Luckily, I got home before Mum did, or she would have found it. Dear Miss Heffley, now which child is Gregory again? Isabella. That really stunk because I had to haul my laundry bag all the way back upstairs, and let me tell you, it was a lot harder going up than it was coming down. Isabella doesn't come back until Thursday, so I guess I'll have to wait until then to take another crack at it. This is actually pretty exciting for me because I've never had anyone else I could farm my work out to. Roderick is always tricking me into doing stuff for him. He'll start by asking me to do something and I'll always say no. Then he starts counting down from 10. I don't know why, but that gets to me every time. I found out that kind of thing doesn't work on adults. Last week, I tried to get Dad to fetch the TV remote because I'd left it on the kitchen table, but he didn't even move a muscle. Anyway, I'm hoping Isabella comes through for me on Thursday. I've been wearing the same socks for a few days now and they're starting to feel like cardboard. Thursday. Okay, now this is starting to get a little ridiculous. Last night I dragged my laundry back downstairs and left another note for Isabella. Dear Isabella, Gregory is a child whose bedroom has blue wallpaper. Please wash and dry his clothes and put them in his room. Thank you, Mrs. Heffley. But instead of clean laundry, I just got another note. Dear Miss Heffley, thank you for the clarification. Now, would you like me to separate the darks from light or wash them all together? Isabella. Now I get Isabella's act. She's going to keep dragging this out forever. On the one hand, I kind of have respect for her skill at avoiding work. But on the other hand, I really do need some clean underwear soon. Okay, so do you think that Isabella knows that it's actually Greg that's sending these notes, getting him to his washing? Do you think he's going to have to do his washing himself? Let's find out.